Morning, everyone. It's Monday morning. I think we're in maybe week 4 now. Only 3 more weeks. We're halfway there. How's everyone going with the meditation? Good, I hope. I hope you've had time to visit my friend Zoe's channel if you have children. It's a wonderful channel for meditation. I'll put the link down below again. Now, today I kind of wanted to talk to you, sort of have a break from what I've been talking about. I was inspired the other day about telling the story about my dad and as an architect, and even without his knowing, he is actually a light worker because he's bringing the light into the darkest of spaces. Excuse me, I'm just going to have my coffee while I chat. It was just a beautiful analogy for you, your own temple soul, like your own home. What we come in here to do is exactly that, and that's bring the light into the dark spaces within us and transform that. Like, I'm not joking. Dad can go into any home, and just in these extraordinarily dark places, will punch a hole through and just get this beautiful light and transform that whole energy of that room. And that's exactly what you need to do inside you. So it's finding the darkness within and having the ability to bring in the light to transform the energy. So, when you walk into a home, you immediately get a vibe. Like, same with people. But, if you walk into some dank, dark, repulsive home with the blinds drawn and it's dark and dingy and a bit moldy and smelly, it's not nice. It's unpleasant. It reminds me a bit of this room I'm in now. Like, when we came across this house, I just can't tell you, and that's about authenticity too, which I'll talk about tomorrow or the next day. But you go in there, and when I went in here, there were 4 gorgeous guys that lived here. God bless them, early 30s. It actually looked like a rubbish tip. I'm not sure that you could sort of see anything, just but dirt and old couches. They were so gorgeous though. But, beyond all that, I could see its potential. It just had funky bones and good architecture, good structure, good design, lasting design. So, that's like us. We've got so much potential. We don't realize, and we don't tap into it. And what we're here to do is exactly that, transform ourselves to this, so our light, more of our light can shine. So I've restored this beautiful home. It's so gorgeous, into, what was really dark and dingy and soulless, into this beautiful, gorgeous, peaceful, calm area. I've transformed it, and that's what you do, with interiors or architects or, us as magicians of our life. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit, how I've been talking about us, that we're a physical being and a non-physical being, and people talk a lot about God or Allah, source energy, and I hear lots of people saying, I just don't believe in that shit, and that's fine. So I wanted to talk about our source, where we come from, because that's very important to know, because you have to know how you work in order to be able to transform and realize why you're here on earth, why you have been born into this physical realm. So the way I see it, I was raised a Catholic. I went to a Catholic school. I didn't go to church much. I think we started out going perhaps Christmas and Easter, and then even that faded. So I just got a bit lost with the whole religion thing. Although when I did uni for 2 weeks, I did enroll in theology, because it's always fascinated me. But the way I've been taught it through Ashanti is so fabulous. And this is the way I want to teach, because as I was saying before, you have to be the teacher you wanted. So it's like less with the bullshit, and more of actually, how does it work? What is it? How does it work? How do we work as humans? So today I want to talk about that which they call God or source energy or the universe. It's that, for me, this is my belief. So there is a higher source. It's an energy that we all emanate from and go back into. It's like, the way I explain it in my book, is like an ocean. If you imagine just a big body of water, and it's a lovely, calm day, it's a calm ocean, it's a blue sky. And then one day it gets really, really, really freezing, and the water transforms. It doesn't change. It does change, but it at its center, it's the same. It is still the water. It's just frozen into matter. So it looks different. So, and all these little ice things that are popping up in the sea as it freezes, all are seemingly individual because they're all sort of separate. One's over here, one's over there, one's doing this, one's doing that. They're different shapes, they're different whatever. But they're actually all of the same water. So if you think of the energy, which some people call that God energy, I like to call it source energy because it's our source. We all emanate from that energy, and that's exactly what happens when we are born. We're born into matter. We come from that energy, the non-physical energy, into a physical being. But we all come from the same source. Can you see how it's sort of the same? That's when we talk about the collective consciousness, because that's why what I do affects you and the outcome of the whole planet. So it's really important for us to realize that, because if we're all wanting to attain peace and ascend the Earth's vibration into or in alignment with its source, then we have to know how it works. So source energy is pure love. That's the source of our energy. So just as the car needs fuel pumped into it to actually go, to sort of be animated, to roar into life, it's the same thing. We need to be connected and learn to co-create with that force that's inside us. Do you get it? So the properties of our source energy, love, are joy, happiness, peace, calm, yes, love, all those good, beautiful vibrations. And that love lives inside us in our hearts. So we can access that love anytime by being it. You just have to be that, your source, if you know what I mean. So, I've talked about having those moments, and I had a couple in Singapore, just random, one down Tyersall Avenue, I remember, and one down Bukit Timah Road, where I just, it was a beautiful day, I remember, and Singapore is just a beautiful, beautiful place because it's so green and lush and gorgeous, especially around near those botanic gardens where I was driving. And I just remember seeing the botanic gardens to my right and just this incredible blue sky, and everything looked so gorgeous. And all of a sudden, just had this massive heart opening, a connection to my source. And it's just the most extraordinary feeling of love that you will ever experience. It's so much. It's so overwhelming that I actually had another one here recently, but it's so overwhelming. It's like, it just makes you feel so incredibly good and so incredibly grateful that you are this energy. That's what you are. So it's important to realize that you are that energetic source. That is your source of sort of animation, that it's coming through you. And it is a creative source. So, you know, when Dad says, "Oh, I don't believe in that crap, Rachel," he's actually connected really strongly to source when he is creating, when he's drawing. He is being inspired. So in spirit, he's in spirit. He's opened up, and that creative channel of love is flowing through him effortlessly, whether he knows it or not, or believes it or not. The inspiration and the creativity, I absolutely guarantee you, is effortless. You know, it's what Dad's really, really good at. You know, it's effortless because the way that God energy, that source is expressing through him, comes in that form. So all of us will be different. You know, when you hear, I love using Chris Martin from Coldplay as an example, because I just think he's just the cutest thing when he gets on stage and he is running down that little runway, singing his heart out. He could not be more connected to source, and every single person in that audience can feel it. They can feel the love, and they can feel his authenticity, and they can feel my heart's going crazy. They can feel his connection to spirit, you know, because he's actually singing it. You know, he's becoming it. And it is a joy and a sheer sort of blessing to be in that energy. And, you know, it's not just him, it's the other musicians that make it beautiful as well, but it's just his boundless energy and his like euphoria and his like just that connection, which is so special. And so that's like when people talk about being in flow, it makes that funny noise. But when you're in flow with your source, things go smoothly. When you're on the right track, things go smoothly. Like when I started energy healing, it was January 2016. When I opened TempleSoul, it was May the 1st, 2016. Now, I'd seen the little shop that I wanted 2 years before down in Greenwood, and I remember walking past it going, I'm going to have that shop one day. I don't know what for, because at the time I was busy working on Radio Bambini, which is my website for kids. I'll put the link to that down there as well, and we'll talk about kids in another time, because I've done a lot of there's a lot of beautiful things for kids on my website as well, which I'd like to talk about another day. But just knowing, you know, and in 2 years, so then I did my energy healing course, and then that became available, you know, for rent, and you know, it was like, oh, there it is, and I know exactly what I'm going to put in there now. You've got to, that's your intuition as well. And so once I signed that paper, you know, I had the confidence to step into becoming an energy healer, having a huge, big career change from graphic designer to energy healer. Although, you know, I bring my design into everything that I do, you know, it's my passion as well. So, you know, all my graphics that are done are done mostly by me. And, you know, all the interiors and stuff are done by me. That's what I love. So that will always come and be a part of my work. And especially with the kids stuff as well. I've designed a beautiful spiritual dictionary for them called Aum to Zen. That's on my website. I'll put the link down below, where I've started with the letter A, and I'm teaching them all about, you know, angels and auras and things like that. So I've designed a little colouring in page for them. So I've really got to get onto that. I think I've done up to J, maybe J, next week. Just had to do this first. So yeah, that's on my website as well. I'll put the link down below. So yeah, when you're in flow, things flow smoothly. When you're on your right path, doors open for you. You know, if it wasn't meant to be, then doors would start to close. It's like when we had to leave Singapore. It was so traumatic for me. but all the doors were closing. Like my husband lost his job, our house was coming up for rent, the car that we had was 10 years old, so we had to get rid of it. All the doors were closing, but we resisted it. Like instead of, it was time to leave 6 months earlier than we did, basically. So we kind of resisted the change, didn't listen to the direction the universe was showing us, because we were thinking with our brains, no, but we want to stay. And the universe was going, it's time to leave, and showing us the closing of the doors. So, that's that awareness thing as well. But yeah, so in short, for this little tutorial, I want you to realize that there is a force greater than you, flowing through you, and it expresses itself through you. And so what I'm doing now is has been inspired. It's flowing through me. So and my creations, and when people paint, and when people sing, and when people create or draw or do whatever, it's just that beautiful energy of source, that creative energy of source flowing through you. And I really want you to think about that collective consciousness, that you're not just an individual, you're actually all that is. So we can and we are capable of creating peace on earth, but it has to start with each individual creating their own temple soul within. So if I raise my vibration to match my vibration of source, which is love, and as I say, to be, you've got to be that energy. You've got to be compassionate. You've got to be joyful. You've got to be love. You've got to be, all those good things. Be positive. That's how you raise your vibration to match the vibration of your source. And that's how we attain peace. So if I can attain that on an individual level, I am also contributing to creating it on a global scale. So each one of us has to find our own temple soul, our own beautiful equilibrium and place of peace and love. And then the whole planet can rise up and have that same vibration. And we can live in a peaceful and joyful environment. At our source, there is absolutely no separation. There's no division. There's no, the things that cause sort of the disharmony is racism and color, class, male, female, all that kind of thing. But in reality, our source, there's no duality. It's just love. If you were a non-physical being, that wouldn't even exist, because it doesn't exist. So it's like we come into this physical realm and we have those challenges, because once we overcome them, then we raise our vibration. Challenges are there to help us. So if we can become aware that at our source we're all the same, then you can see everyone in a different light. So I've read a lot of spiritual books, and one is seeing every person as the image of your creator. So it's like, it's not an individual person, but it's actually just a guide to come and help you to grow and learn. And everyone is an expression of that God energy, or that source energy, or whatever you want to call it. But that energy is just the energy of love, which is really beautiful, actually. So if you can see everyone in that light, happy days. We can have a peaceful planet. So that's it for today. Tomorrow or whenever, I'll talk about the importance of being authentic. Hope you have a beautiful day. Meditate, do some yoga, go for a walk. If you're in Melbourne, it's beautiful today. A bit on the chilly side, but gorgeous. I wish you all the best. Sending you lots of love and light.